Hello, Steve Cordasco and everybody at Mercer Advisors, and thank you for sharing another client success story with me. The in-house certified retirement plan specialist, Dennis Jablonski. TC, say Jablonski. I've never heard you say Jablonski.
Jablonski.
Say it 3 times.
Jablonski, Jablonski, Jablonski.
The big Jablonski. That's the big Lebowski. Hey, Dennis Jablonski and I are probably related. One of his friends, who's been a client for more than 20 years and a regular listener of this program, unexpectedly had to take over a successful family business due to his dad's sudden illness. Dennis made it a priority to secure all of his friend's business and personal assets as he entered this new leadership role in the family business. If you find yourself suddenly saddled with business responsibilities and you need some guidance, call Steve Cordasco. Call Dennis Jablonski. The number is 855-558-3500. Let the team secure your financial future. Cordasco Financial Network. Cordasco Financial Network, Michael, is a trade name owned by Mercer Global Advisors and SEC-registered investment advisors. Securities are offered through Andrew Garrett, Inc., not affiliated with Cordasco Financial Network or Mercer. Client experiences vary. Successful outcomes are not guaranteed. Time now for the headlines from Smerconish.com, the newsletter. Wow, 19,119 votes cast yesterday. Is a college degree a legitimate hiring prerequisite for a higher paying job? 54.74% said no. Let's call it 55-45. I like it because there was a divide in there. I don't like when the polls are 80-20, 90-10.
I know. We really work hard at trying to figure out something that won't be that, but it's challenging. It's the polling department is really
as I say, you think it's easy, you try, and then a lot of you have,
and we come up with there's like a list of 20, and you ditch all of them.
Right.
You respond to all of them, but you refuse to post any of them.
Not only, by the way, because your suggestions have gone so well in terms of suggesting poll questions, which are great fodder for the program. Even if I don't use your poll question, I still love responding to them. We do it each and every day now.
And you have used a handful.
Oh, definitely.
And then we give credit, sort of hat tip to Betty in Louisiana or whoever it is.
So new rules, new news. Because that's been so successful, I'm now giving you the opportunity to also flag stories that you think are worth the cut for Smerconish.com.
Now, how's that going to work?
Because what occurs to me is I'm constantly looking for, those 20 aggregated links. And I try and come from disparate sources. Obviously, there are a handful of national outlets that are overrepresented. That's because their investigative reporting sets the tone for so much of the other reporting that takes place. But, if you're all scattered in different parts of the country, I want to give you the opportunity to say, hey, Michael, here's like a really interesting local story that is deserving of more attention. So look for that at Smerconish.com and in the newsletter as well, because you can be one of my, field sources.
I love that.
Yeah.
I hear from people often, people in my orbit. My father will tell me some story from Raleigh, North Carolina that might not be 100% on the radar screen, but then it pops nationally, and then we're ahead of the curve. So I love that.
I want
those
Woody
people
to come to me and give me that story.
Correct.
So that I can put it out there. The great result yesterday, I think, is because it was an easily understood poll question. You had clear choices.
Yeah.
Today, a little more complicated. It concerns China. Yesterday, Gordon Chang was my guest. We were talking about the unrest in China, the lockdown, the zero COVID approach, which is this approach born out of the effort to control the initial outbreak in Wuhan. Haven't said that for a while until today. People who have the virus are isolated or they are sent to hospitals depending on the severity of their case. And then if you've had close contact, you too are in a lockdown. And entire cities like Shanghai in the spring for 2 months, completely locked down. Good for the statistics, not good for building herd immunity, because China has held off importing vaccines. This is what I'm getting to. And the fact that I have to explain so much is what makes me wonder whether it's a great poll question. But work with me here, because this is where I'm headed. China has held off importing vaccines, including the mRNA vaccines like Moderna and Pfizer, while it develops its own, but they've not been successful. So their approach has been lockdown. These people have cabin fever on steroids. And maybe that fire that killed 10 people and 1 child was hampered the firefighting efforts because of welded closed conditions. We really don't know, but that's what the rumor mill suggests. So I'm wondering, what should we be doing about it? The question is whether we should be bailing out President Xi, assuming he'd want our help, another big if. I mean, should our focus be on providing him the mRNA vaccines that he lacks? He can pay for them. Or should we sort of stand back and let it all happen and hope that it topples him? The Biden administration has not been vocal about these protesters and embracing them the way we recently were in Iran. So that is what I'm getting at today with the poll question. The U.S. should focus more on, and I'm giving you 2 choices, supporting the Chinese import of the mRNA vaccines developed by Pfizer and Moderna, or encouraging protests opposing Xi. What should we do in that regard? One other story that's posted at Smerconish.com today that is really interesting and speaks to the lengths to which the Chinese will run a disinformation or misinformation campaign because there have been pockets of protest around the country. Quite naturally, people have been going and Googling cities that otherwise don't get a lot of Google search traffic, right? Well, the response has been that if you put in the name of a number of these Chinese cities that have been the home of protests, you know what you get in terms of your return, your response in search engines? Links to escort services based in those areas. That has been their way to flood the zone and keep from you accurate information about what's going on in China. Here in the United States, interesting statistic, those who have perished from COVID have always skewed older, but now even more so. While older Americans have consistently been the worst hit during the crisis, as evident in the scores of early nursing home deaths, that trend has become even more pronounced, and today, nearly 9 in 10 COVID deaths are people 65 or older, the highest rate ever, according to a Washington Post analysis of CDC data. So please make sure, especially if you're older, that you are totally up to speed, not only with your vaccines and boosters, but also with your flu shot. I have had 2 vaccines, 2 boosters. I filled my card. I think there are only like 4 lines in it, and I had my flu shot. Or did I have 5?
I think if you've gotten them all.
I have.
I think it's 5.
Okay. I have my card at home. I have a picture of it on my phone.
Yeah,
so.
I have my card right here.
Okay.
Want me to look and see?
Yeah, take a look. Is it 4 or 5? I'm just curious. Whatever it is, I filled it. Like my dance card is
full?
My dance card is complete.
Okay, hang on.
TC, while you are looking through, by the way, if it's your purse over there,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 of them.
5.
Okay, good. Are you wearing Balenciaga today?
I haven't gotten my wardrobe budget yet, so the answer.
That's what you're waiting
for?
for?
The answer is no. But interesting. I mean, okay.
There's no Balenciaga in your closet?
I have to admit to you that there is no Balenciaga in my closet.
Huh.
Now, the better question is, if I did have it in my closet, what would I be doing right now? Would I be wearing it? What does one do with one's Balenciaga at the moment?
I'm looking, right, maybe you burned it. I don't know. I'm looking at one of the ads. Help me with this.
Okay,
I've seen them both. And
Okay.
one of them we used for our YouTube presentation today,
yes.
which is like a teddy bear in bondage.
Right. And there were a couple similar ones in that ad campaign that were children holding teddy bears. The teddy bears were in like S&M bondage, leather straps, and surrounded by all sorts of Balenciaga purses and shoes, etc. That's like, they're very edgy.
It's like
the Kardashian situation.
Right.
She's in the mix, of course.
but she's upset about this now as a mom, as I will get to.
Okay, but whoa. She didn't react fast enough for a lot of people. A lot of people were having fits that Kim Kardashian did not react fast enough.
Okay, the other ad, not the teddy bear in bondage.
Not the teddy bear in bondage.
Is the the professional woman.
Right.
The professional woman who is in a corner office in Manhattan.
Right.
Feet are up on the like credenza.
Yeah, she's a supermodel.
And is she?
Sure.
And then behind her, and like, how would you even know? But
well, then they were looking for it once,
right?
They,
yeah, it's like the highlight thing, So it's a book by a Belgian photographer known for photographing naked kids,
like castrated kids.
And then
awful.
Somewhere
Bloody.
in here, and I don't know how you can discern what any of the other documents are, but somewhere in here, there are documents related to a Supreme Court battle on child pornography.
United States versus Williams in 2008, which confirms as illegal and not protected by freedom of speech the promotion of child pornography.
And so Balenciaga says, hey, like, we hired a guy to stage this. We don't know. And they've sued him.
Right.
And then he has said, well, wait a minute. We hired a prop house.
I mean, doesn't it give you a glimpse into how much is sort of outsourced?
Yes.
Because he's like, no, I just walked in and I did the photography in the style in which I do photography, but I didn't stage any of this. This was somebody else that was staging it.
Damn it. I just thought of a good poll question.
What was the poll question?
I'll get to it in just a second.
Geez. Oh, boy.
Okay, from the coverage of this.
Michael from Doylestown, PA.
At CNN. Right. I'll submit it to Smerconish.com.
Exactly.
Luxury fashion house Balenciaga suing the production company behind its spring 2023 ad campaign after paperwork about a Supreme Court ruling on child pornography was identified in one of the images. The label, which is already facing condemnation over a different campaign involving children, initiated the lawsuit on Friday in the New York State Supreme Court. Balenciaga seeking $25 million at least in damages from production company North 6 Inc., set designer Nicolas Desjardins and his company. I also want to tell you this part.
Who knew? I'm telling you, this behind-the-scenes
like a cottage industry.
Is so interesting to me.
It said the campaign, which featured actor Nicole Kidman and model Bella Hadid, among others, was meant to replicate a corporate environment with shots staged in a Manhattan office space on a messy desk featured in one image. The clutter visibly included a page from the 2008 Supreme Court ruling, United States versus Williams, a case which, quote, confirms as illegal and not protected by freedom of speech the promotion of child pornography, according to a statement by Balenciaga provided to CNN on Monday. A lawyer for Nicolas Desjardins and his company said in an emailed statement, there certainly was no malevolent scheme going on. Balenciaga is aware numerous boxes of documents simply were sourced from a prop house as rental items. Moreover, representatives from Balenciaga were present at the shoot.
So now we have a prop house.
Who's the person in the prop house that, like, says, oh, I know what I'll do. I will find paperwork from a Supreme Court case related to child porn, and I'll spread it out on the credenza.
But did they do that, or was it just somehow papers? I mean, in other words,
I know they're pretty wacky papers to have around. If I asked you to supply some papers, would you come up with that?
No, I would definitely not come up with that.
Do you want to know what the poll question is that I just thought of?
At least it was against child pornography.
Right. Kim Kardashian's been an ambassador for the fashion label, addressed the campaign on Sunday. She said she's reevaluating her working relationship with Balenciaga and that she was left shaken by the disturbing images. She told her 74.2 million Twitter followers the safety of children must be held with the highest regard, and any attempts to normalize child abuse should have no place in our society. Balenciaga has apologized. Here's the question.
Okay, what's the question?
Good or bad for their business? Balenciaga has never rolled off my lips before. Okay, never. I've never heard of it.
Okay.
Don't know it.
Talking about it is different from buying it, though.
Okay, but there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Okay, are they? I guess the better question is, are they handling it well now? In other words, if they handle it well now and it becomes this sort of very transparent, these are the steps that led to, because now they're doing all sorts of internal investigations. These are the steps that led to this being published. They've taken everything down. They've apologized. Like, is that enough? I mean, this is a real story of cancel culture, correct apologies, how to deal, like crisis management. There's a lot going on here.
Are the women who buy from Balenciaga now going to turn their back on the company?
That's the question.
That is the question.
They are for now. In Instagram, they're all, and if you don't, like, these people are railing on Kim Kardashian for not immediately severing ties. So she's going to be in trouble. I mean, it's, the ripple effects are long.
I'm upset with Bella Hadid. That's all I want to say.
Why are you upset with Bella Hadid?
Well, First of all, she's referenced in this story.
Oh,
'cause she
that's
was
who
in
you're
the
upset by.
campaign.
You're just upset with Bella Hadid.
I'm upset with her for a different reason, and that is that her family bought a property where I used to purchase lavender.
Well
And
aware.
ever since
If
they
you-
purchased that property, I can't buy the lavender,
Yeah,
and
but
it's a shame.
Follow Yolanda, her mother, on Instagram, and you will see amazing pictures. That family
I don't want to
loves
look
that
at
place.
pictures. It was my favorite chapstick,
Oh.
and it was
Oh,
lavender.
I remember. You used to have that around here.
Yeah, it's exactly
totally
right.
did.
Yeah,
That's so
I
funny.
think you were the beneficiary of
The
a
soaps.
lavender or candle.
Yes, the one
Because-
with the little top that you take off.
One Christmas, I gave gift bags
Yes.
to the whole CNN
yeah.
team.
Yeah.
That all came. I don't even think the CNN team knows this. That all came from the farm.
From the Hadid farm.
That is now the Hadid farm.
That's amazing.
And there was a couple.
They're still doing the lavender though.
But they don't sell it.
Well,
They
it's
don't sell
private
it.
now.
Anyway, it was wonderful stuff.
Are you
It was-
wearing Balenciaga over there?
Yeah,
That sport coat.
No, thank you. I'm wearing.
Wait,
Canali.
whoa.
I'm wearing.
Whoa.
I'm wearing Canali, and
Do you
we
have
and
do
we
you have
don't.
suspenders on?
Maybe. Hey, I not
Wait,
only.
wait. Let me see.
No, but DC, you're missing. You're not looking at the color.
Okay, I'm sorry. The color.
The color.
It's got purpley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's purple herringbone.
Oh.
Okay, one of us takes some pride in how he presents for the daily video and so forth.
Wait, are you not telling me?
Go get some Balenciaga.
Okay, wardrobe budget. Bring it on. Let's go.
I want to also mention two other things that are posted at Smerconish.com today because there's alliteration involved, and both of them are personalities. Piers and Patty.
Personalities.
Piers and Patty and personalities. Piers Morgan, writing in the New York Post, linked to it today at Smerconish.com. The GOP must ditch anti-Semite embracer Trump or lose in 2024. He says Trump is attracted to sycophancy. How would you say
That's
it?
a strange
Sycophancy.
Sycophancy. Nice.
Trump is attracted to sycophancy like a ravenous bee to a pot of honey. He'll ignore someone's background, however appalling, so long as they say nice things about him. That's an Achilles heel for anyone. For someone running for president, it's a disaster. And then the Patty is Patty Davis in a New York Times editorial, Patty Davis as in daughter of Ronald Reagan. And she writes the following under the headline, "If we ignore Donald Trump, we might see who he really is." She says, when I was about 8 or 9, I was bullied ruthlessly in school by a boy in my class. I faked being sick so I wouldn't have to go to school, but my parents figured out that something was going on, and my father came in to talk to me. I confessed to him that I was scared of my tormentor, and what followed was a lesson in the beauty of ignoring another person. He explained that bullies crave attention, and if they are ignored, they sort of deflate. He then showed me how frustrating it is to feel like you're invisible by ignoring me when I tried to speak to him. It worked. I returned to school, I ignored the bully, and he gave up his attacks on me. That's Patty Davis,
Wow.
daughter of Ronald Reagan, advice in terms of what we should do about Donald Trump. Further along, she says that the media ought to ignore him. Although, what if he were ignored? I think he would become even more extreme. I mean, I think he'd have a whole dinner party of Nick Fuentes.
Oh, interesting.
If suddenly Donald Trump were ignored.
Yeah.
One more Trump bit of news, if I might. I thought this was really interesting because I'm a homer. Commonwealth Partners conducted a survey of Pennsylvanians between November 19 and November 21. It shows Ron DeSantis among Pennsylvania Republicans. Ron DeSantis commanding 45% support, 5 percentage points ahead of Donald Trump at 40. So DeSantis beating Trump. Again, the point is he beats him one-on-one, but could he ever get him alone based on 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas and the number of Republicans out there who said they're interested or suggested they're interested in running? I seriously doubt it. So that's all I got. Anything else on the list? We have just 30 seconds that you wanted to mention.
I mean, that is a lot. I think maybe that horrible catfishing story in
Yikes.
Riverside with the a Virginia cop who
Former state trooper,
yeah, who evidently catfished a teenage girl and then drove to her home in San Bernardino County, killed her grandparents and her mother, and then took her. And there was a shootout with the police, and he's dead, and she's now in protective custody. Like, it's a
Scary
crazy
stuff.
story. Be careful what your kids are doing online. That's the bottom line.
And be careful what you're doing online. Go vote at Smerconish.com. Today's poll question: the U.S. should focus more on supporting the Chinese import of the mRNA vaccines developed by Pfizer and Moderna, or encouraging protests opposing President Xi. Vote, vote, vote. See you tomorrow.